Okay, hello. We are picking up on the cliffhanger we left off on. This is Zero Escape, the Nonary games, 999. Running the PC version. And we are tracking down one of the alternate endings, because we got the so-called safe ending the first time, and now we're tracing down some of the other ones before getting the true ending. So, without ado, Junpei, Ace, and Clover come into the room, and the first thing they saw was a man on the floor covered in blood. Junpei felt his body seize up, his mouth went dry, and he felt very, very cold. The blood in his veins slowed to a crawl, and his heart tightened like a fist.
Not again.
Again? This was the third time he'd seen the horror of death laid out before him. He didn't think it was something he could stand to see much more of. Still, he had begun to accept that whatever it was that he saw, whatever happened to him, was beyond his control. Whatever force controlled him was driven by a determination that he could not hope to match.
Damn.
A sense of helplessness, of desperation washed over him. He left behind a feeling of utter emptiness that wormed its way through his body like acid.
No. Wait. We didn't check his pulse yet. Maybe he's still alive.
Fueled by that spark of hope, Junpei ran to the man's body, and his heart fell. And he touched his hand to the neck.
Pulse.
His pupils had dilated and he wasn't breathing. I don't know if that's exactly what pupils being dilated looks like.
Well, he's dead.
I'm certain of that.
If only we knew how it happened.
Junpei lifted the man's already stiff body. There was a deep red wound on his chest.
Wounds. I wonder what killed him.
Junpei did not have to wonder long.
It must have been this.
Lying next to the corpse was an axe. The entire blade of it was drenched in bright red blood. In the shape of the man's wound, there could be no doubt that it had been made by an axe. Junpei looked at the body again. A lake of blood stretched out around it. It was wearing the clothes of a ship's captain, although they were stained with blood. It was wearing? Probably he was wearing, but okay.
These clothes. A captain. Does that mean this guy was Zero?
On his left hand was a bracelet. The number on the bracelet was 0.
Bracelet 0.
It was only then that Junpei noticed the stench of blood that filled the room. He couldn't help but laugh. There was nothing else for him to say. It was too simple, too obvious, too straightforward. If there hadn't been a dead man on the floor, Junpei might have thought it was a joke.
It may be wise to find a way out of here first.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, buddy, seek a way out. Okay, where's the corpse in relation to this room? Alright, what do we got? There's blood on the chair. Do you think this was the dead guys? Yeah, probably. Actually, kind of creeping me out. Something metallic on top of that table. Is that a music box? Oh, let's have a look. Moved the sheets and took a look under the bed. There's a lot of space. Somebody could hide down there. And you could hide other stuff too. You mean like this body? Yeah, but whoever killed him didn't do that. Why not? Well, let's see. I guess I can think of 4 possibilities. They might just not have noticed the space under the bed. Or they didn't think of hiding the body. They didn't have the time to hide it. Or maybe they didn't want to hide it. Maybe they wanted us to find it to prove a point or something. Bed. There's nothing in it. It's a lamp. but it doesn't turn on. I don't think there's anything special about it. Nothing to see here. Music box. Cool. It's one of those old music boxes. But we wind it up. Why did it sound like that? Maybe because these tines aren't tuned properly? Is it broken? Pins on the cylinder are shaped all weird. I don't think those are pins. It looks like someone put something else on top of it. We're gonna have to take it apart to figure out what's going on, don't you? Alright. Back. Camcorder. Looks like he's pointed at the door while the power's on. Why would someone want to videotape the door? Where's our hard drive? But it isn't like this one's recording anything. What do you mean? It's sending whatever it sees to something. What does it see? The door. Yeah. There's a plaque on the door, but it doesn't say anything. A rectangular hole. I think it's a keyhole of some sort. The right key, you should be able to unlock it. No dice, it doesn't matter what I push on here, it's not working. I don't think the power's on. Display is dark. I guess the power isn't on. Let's see if shaking you gets anyone there. No dice. So this is the exit, huh? I don't even really have to try this door to know it's locked. I knew it. Yeah, nothing there. JP, where are you going? I was gonna go pop over to the communications office and talk to Ace. You gonna leave me alone in here? Get him to stay with me a little longer. There's still other places we haven't looked. A chair. A chair. It looks a little lonely. Open batteries. There's a cable running from them to the monitors. What's the deal with this? Is some kind of code? There are 4 rows of numbers and letters. They'll start with 0 and end with 8, F, N, or V, respectively. This has something to do with the number basis. That's it. And that's it. There's a bunch of weird buttons on here. They probably switch what you see on the screens. Do you know how to work this thing? Why don't we just press one of these? Like this one. Well, I guess it does change the... What the hell is this? Nothing. There's nothing on the monitor, just static. Oh, that's static? That looks like text to me.
Huh.
Grim humor for the second time since you come into the room. The 4 screens along the bottom had a single letter each, spelling out.
C-E-R-O, huh? It's like he's making fun of us.
Maybe.
What do you think?
He turned to Clover, who was standing next to him. Clover nodded.
Nothing.
Seemed that she cared about little. Of course, Junpei could hardly blame her. Given the strain she was surely under, Junpei was somewhat surprised she had responded at all. Still, he had to ask. He gestured toward the corpse.
What about him? Do you think that's really Zero?
Let me see where we're gonna flow. Have we escaped yet? Back. Clover shook her
There's
head.
no way that's him. Didn't I tell you already? Zero is one of us.
Yeah. Right.
I know it's important to figure out who this guy is, but don't you think we should figure out how to get out of here first?
But...
Please, I don't want to waste any more time.
Clover looked miserable, as if she could start crying at any moment. Junpei just didn't have the heart to tell her now.
Alright, sure thing.
Is his mind playing tricks on him? Junpei wondered. For a moment he could have sworn he'd seen Clover smile. door on that screen, the one right behind us? You're right. Whatever that camera sees is sent to the screen in real time. If that means something, you know? This probably used to be a door. Nobody's going through it as long as it's this metal plate's here. Even without the metal plate, the desk's in the way. Oh yeah, we're looking at the file, aren't we? Numeral system chart. 10 in base 10 is written as A in hexadecimal. Therefore 11 is B, 12 is C, 13 is D, 14 is E, 15 is F. This chart shows the rules for each numeral system. Is that it? Octal, hexadecimal. Base 24. And base 36, I guess. 32. Is E on the screen? Is it E on the screen? R? Oh. And it shows up in the middle of the screen back there. You've got a short lifeline shipping. Hey, mind your own business. Damn. Okay, now we're out of the room. An old telegraph machine. I'll be honest, I have no idea how it works. This is clearly not a telegraph machine up here. I'm sorry. Small screwdrivers, thank you. Alright, let's combine that with... And then... Got the weird cylinder out. Search that. Looks like a cylinder for a music box. Ink. How old are you? 9? Yeah. I think the age 9 is rather appropriate for this game. Clock mounted on the wall, the hands aren't moving. Surprised that the time is wrong then, I suppose. There's nothing on the back. Look, a hook. That wasn't a joke. I know, man. The chair. Jimper, what are you doing? We've searched the wheelhouse from top to bottom. There's no reason to go back. In fact, don't you think it would be wise to investigate the captain's quarters? We gotta check both rooms, don't you? Hey, what is this? There's nothing written on it. Blank paper. Oh, we're gonna make short work of that here in a second. That drawer is the only thing that's locked. I don't see a keyhole though. Electric locks, perhaps? Take a look at the left side drawer. Yeah, there's some cables over there. That must mean early telecommunications device, most likely used to transmit a radio signal of some sort. Experimented with it earlier, but to no avail. I imagine it's broken. There's a pair of headphones on the desk. It's a telegraph key, a machine for transmitting Morse code. Tried sending an SOS earlier, but I doubt that did anything. So it would never make it that easy. So you think it's broken? No, it works. I'm just not sure if it actually transmits anything outside of the ship. Hey Ace, look, a model of a steam train. How on earth do you arrive at that conclusion? Yeah, this thing. Just normal light. Maybe it's not that normal. Hey, monkey with class. You know, Junpei, sometimes you can be a bit of an ass. Alright, time to combine things. Combine with ink. I guess I'll put the ink on the cylinder. Dirty cylinder. Combine with the paper. I just gotta roll the cylinder across the piece of paper, and if I'm right, the ink should. Morse code chart. Wonder if that is Morse code for 0. I have no Morse code skills. In fact, let me just see what Z in Morse code is. It is dash dash dot dot. Figure out which one's the top. All right, back. Alright, I've got the Morse code I'm supposed to enter. If I do this right, something will happen. I hope. Alright, let's give this a shot. Oh man, I actually gotta do this. Three dots and 2 dashes. There's a 3. Whoop. Reset. At least we're gonna do it better with the controller. Yeah. It's the last one, and yes. Excellent work, Junpei. Good job. Seem to have figured it out. You've unlocked the drawer. Oh hey, a book and something underneath it. A red file lay in the drawer. Junpei reached down and picked it up.
Looks like there's something on the cover. A-L-L-I-C-E.
All ice.
But isn't it supposed to say all ice?
Or Alice.
This doesn't have a space between the L and the I. Are they saying that A-L-L-I-C-E is a single word?
It was an interesting thought, but it left Junpei's mind quickly as he opened the file. What lay inside was far more interesting and far more confusing. Each page was covered with strange characters, hieroglyphs. They looked like tiny drawings of birds, snakes, insects, horned animals, wings, and even kneeling humans. There were many pages in the file, and each was full of these strange symbols.
What the hell is this?
He didn't realize he'd spoken out loud until Ace looked over him.
Hieroglyphs, a form of writing used in ancient Egypt.
Ancient Egypt?
I like that snarky response.
That's right.
Can you read them?
Of course. I can't. What would make you think I could?
What the hell?
Junpei flipped through a few more pages. It wasn't just 1 or 2 pages that were covered in strange symbols. Every single page was covered in them.
Whoa, the whole thing's like that.
Trying to read them was pointless. Junpei wasn't going to waste any more time with them. He made to close the file, and something fell out.
What's this?
He bent down and picked it up.
Oh, a key card.
Bottom deck library. There's a symbol on it that reminded Junpei of the symbol for Saturn and Mercury cards. Well, it's the Mars symbol. This one, however, had a dot in the center of the male symbol.
Uranus.
Oh.
That's the Uranus symbol.
No, goes to show how much I know. Junpei looked over at it to see Ace examining the card. In addition to the Uranus symbol, there were 3 words engraved on the card as well. Bottom deck
Something's
library.
written on the bottom. Bottom deck library. This must be the key to the library then. Is the bottom deck a library? Anyway, whatever. It's gonna have to wait. I can't do anything right now.
You cannot. He gripped the keycard tighter and shoved it deep into his pocket. New material had been added to the file screen. Ooh, hey, an interesting tool. Unique key. Key with a leather case. Isn't metal. I guess it would be ceramic. Junpei, have you found a keyhole that might fit it? Control panel for the electronic lock. It looks like it's got a keyhole at the bottom right. Maybe the key I got earlier. Sweet, I just had to put that key in and now it's on. Junpei, look, there's a minus sign on the screen. There's 8 of them. That means we've got to put in 8 digits. Do you think you can figure it out? Base number systems, huh? Nautical note. Mineral system chart. This isn't octal, this is base 9. Let's try. 8 digits, huh? E would be 14. R would be... Oh man, alright. Probably should have taken a picture of that. Let's pull up Notepad and get a little reminder to myself. So. 27. That would be 24. Alright, I guess I did figure it out. I guess if we're in a base 36 numbering system, that's what would result. Do I get a "you found it"? I got a "you found it." Alright, cool. And where are we in the timeline? I just kind of have to know. Getting close to something. Guess I'll continue to one of these dead ends. Now I'm going to stop here. Alright. Stepped out of the captain's quarters and into another hallway. The hallway stretched out in front of Junpei for a bit before turning left like a great backward L.
Let's go.
Junpei ran to the corner and took off down the straightway. He ran and ran and ran, and at the end of the hallway was a door.
That's the next door.
He made straight for it.
Piece of paper.
It was nearly halfway to it when he noticed a piece of paper in the middle of the floor. Junpei skidded to a halt. He dropped down to his hands and knees and quickly tore the paper off the floor.
Map of the ship's interior for A-Deck.
What's wrong?
Ace, slightly slower by virtue of his advanced age, had finally caught up to Junpei.
I found a map for this floor.
He showed Ace what he snatched from the wall. He looked at it long enough to determine what it was and nodded. With that, he began running again past Junpei.
Well, that was anticlimactic. I should keep this, though.
Junpei shoved the map into his pocket and got up to follow Ace, but something stopped him.
Hey, where's Clover?
He turned around. Clover was nowhere to be
Damn it.
seen.
What the hell is she up to?
Junpei muttered angrily under his breath and took off back the way he'd come. As he stomped around in the corner, he saw her. She was standing in front of the door to the captain's quarters, her hand on the doorknob.
Clover!
What is on her cheek?
Huh?
As Junpei watched, she closed it gently and quietly.
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
Clover had unconsciously put her hands over the pockets of her jacket as if trying to hide something.
What the hell is that?
What?
You've got something in your pocket.
Oh, this? This is...
The bracelet?
I wonder...
What the hell?
Come on, we gotta hurry.
That Clover ran straight past the somewhat confused Junpei. As she did, he caught a glimpse of her back.
Clover, what's that on your back?
Sticking up from her collar was something that looked like a big wooden stick.
Stick.
Hey, she's got the axe.
What the hell's that thing on your back?
She didn't respond. Instead, she quickly turned the corner and disappeared.
Is she ignoring me? For crying out loud.
Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later, and he ran off after Clover. Oh boy, we're going somewhere, aren't we? Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs. Where are we in the flow? We are still here, alright.
Big stairs. So this is where it ends up, just like it says on the map.
It was just what he'd expected to see after reading the map. His "I see" after reading the map himself meant that Ace had probably realized the same thing.
Ace, did he head down?
He put his hand on the handrail and leaned over to look down.
Oh, there he is.
Look, the 4 others are there too.
And not just Ace, Santa, June, Seven, and Lotus as well.
Let's join them.
Junpei and Clover glanced at each other and hurried down the stairs. They reached B deck at the same time.
Jumpy, Clover.
June's face was excited. Something had happened. That much Junpei can tell by simply looking at
What's
her.
up?
Given their situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain herself.
We found it.
Found what?
We found it.
What did you find?
The last door. We found door 9.
What?
What?
Come on, just follow us. We'll explain on the way.
Okay.
7 turned and jogged off down the stairs.
Well, if that's the case.
Okay, we're on the right track.
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
The rest followed.
Jumpy! We finally made it!
Did we? Let's see where this leads us.
Yeah, it's finally time.
Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe that he'd done it, at least not yet. Still, if everyone said that it was door 9, then it probably was.
The end.
He could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one.
Something's bothering me. Only 3 to 5 people can go through the numbered door. 7 of us are on our way to door 9. That means that, best case scenario, there will be 2 of us who have to stay behind. 2 people. Is there a way?
Junpei looked over at the clock.
4:30. We've only got 90 minutes left. I've got no time to wonder about it now. Hey, Junpei! June! What the hell are you two doing? Hurry it up!
Santa's voice jolted Junpei out of his reverie.
Let's go, Jumpy!
June took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as she could. Junpei followed. They were quiet for a while until they just reached C deck when Clover spoke.
Hey, what about door 2?
Everyone else stopped. They all turned to look at Clover. 7 spoke.
About door 2.
Door 2 is the only one we didn't... We haven't gone through it, I mean.
Yes, that is true.
Are you guys okay with that? Not investigating it, I mean?
So what? We found door 9. We don't need any of the other doors.
I mean, she is trying to find her brother. Aren't you even the least bit considerate of that fact?
What's the point? Huh? What's the point in going to door 9? We can't all go through it, right? And we should do what we have to do before we go any further. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. The best way to finish it quickly is to do the border pieces first.
Dun dun dun.
You know?
You know.
Or what? You think all 7 of us should go to door 9? And then we argue over who stays behind and who gets to go? Do we really want to do that again? Who knows? If we check out door 2, maybe we'll find something. Maybe we can find a way to get all of us out. Huh. I don't know what might be in there. We may not find anything. But don't you think it'd be better to at least have a look? I mean, am I wrong? Does that sound wrong to you guys?
No. And actually, I think in my playthrough I didn't get this ending at all, so this is kind of cool for someone who thought he finished the game and oh.
Yeah, you do have a point.
But there's not an
Last
agreement.
time I checked the clock, it was 4:30. It's not like we've got a lot of time, but if we're quick about it, we might have time to take a look.
Yeah, where are we? The flow. Yeah, we're still here.
You're right. Let's go take a look at door 2.
We're back in front of the elevator. Nearby was the large
The
hospital
elevator
room.
can take us down to door 2.
Who shall go then?
Let's see.
Me. I'm going.
Then June, 7, and I need to go with her.
4 plus 3 plus 6 plus 7 plus 20. 2 plus 0 equals 2.
Hey, why do you get to...
I don't mind. We'd only waste time arguing over it.
Jumpy, I'm okay too.
See?
Can we just go now?
Fine.
All right, let's get going.
I'll see you later.
Okay. Be careful.
They climbed into the elevator and Junpei listened to it creak and rattle its way to the bottom deck. Only Junpei, Ace, and Lotus were left. As the elevator rumbled out of sight, Ace spoke.
Lotus, would you be so kind as to go with me?
Go with you? Well, I didn't think people still talked that way outside of the 1950s.
Dang.
Well, I'm a mother. Would that be a problem for you?
That's an interesting factoid about her.
That wasn't what I meant to... I was hoping you would come with me.
Seriously, though, I was kidding. So, where was it you wanted to take me?
There's something I wanted to show you.
Hey man, what the hell? I'm not important enough?
Well, it's not like that. Once I've shown Lotus, I'll show you.
Really?
Of course.
His smile was friendly.
Fine.
I don't know, I don't trust that after the ending I saw.
Are you coming, Lotus?
Fine. Doesn't look like they're going to be back anytime soon. I might as well go and see whatever it is you think is so important.
Thank you. Well then, shall we go?
Alright. Ace turned and began to walk. Lotus followed. They disappeared into the hallway on the left. Time seemed to drag as Junpei waited for the others to return, working the flow. Oh, we're in
They're so
final
slow.
stretch.
And what's keeping Ace and Lotus?
Suddenly the elevator opened. A single person stood there.
I guess you're the first one back.
There was only Clover inside. He didn't see the rest. She looked at Junpei, then slowly, purposefully stepped out of the elevator. The door closed behind her.
Where's everybody else? What happened?
She didn't answer. Instead, her eyes swept the room and then settled on Junpei.
Where are Ace and Lotus?
Hmm? Oh, Ace said he wanted to show Lotus something, so they went into that hallway.
Hold on, my dog is stirring downstairs. Let me go see if he needs to be let out. Nope, it seems he was just getting water, so that's okay. Whoa. Excuse me. Junpei explained what had happened.
Oh, then they went over there?
Her voice was small and
Yeah,
timid.
I think so.
He repeated his earlier
So
question.
where are June, Santa, and Seven? Why aren't they with you?
You really want to know?
Oh no. There's something wrong with her smile.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Here, let me show you.
Axe murder time? It's axe murder time. Clover pulled something out of her pocket and tossed it onto the floor at Junpei's feet.
Huh?
He looked down. On the floor in front of him were 3 metal rings.
Oh my god. Oh, holy shit.
Junpei collapsed.
No. No way. No way. This has got to be some kind of joke. This can't be real.
Junpei's body felt like rubber. His heart felt like a cold lump in his chest and his hands shook uncontrollably. Sweat poured down his face. 3 bracelets sat there on the floor before him. He could see the numbers on their faces.
7.
6.
6.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1. You escape from this ship. 2. Your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or the paraxatic Nary's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it was too foul and not agreed.
But why?
Junpei's voice was flat and broken. Clover's response was cold.
Revenge for my brother. He was forced into door 3 and murdered. You need at least 3 people to open a door. Who were the 2 that opened that door with him? It could only have been Santa and Seven. That's why I killed them.
Why?
Why did you kill June?
Because she tried to protect them. She was in my way. She had to die too.
No. No.
Junpei shook his head, trying desperately to wake himself from what had to be a dream. It couldn't be real. It just couldn't.
Hey, Junpei.
He felt Clover's hand on his shoulder. Her smile was wrong. Horribly wrong. Her face looked like a mask made from stretched human skin. The smile that parted her lips did not extend to her eyes. They were dead and empty. The girl in front of him was no longer the Clover he had known. Perhaps she was not even human.
Let's go.
Her hand reached out toward him.
Out of here. Let's leave this ship.
What the hell are you talking about?
5, 4.
To open a numbered door,
Yes, I know. You need at least 3 people. But as long as we have this,
0.
that's...
It was another bracelet. Junpei could see the number on the face.
the 0 bracelet. You've got something in your pocket. What is it?
oh, this? See? You get it now? If we have the 0 bracelet, we can leave. You and I can open door 9 with just the 2 of us.
0, 5, and 4 equals 9.
So let's go. Come on. Hurry up.
Man, that's creepy. She shoved out her hand again. Junpei looked up at Clover. She had the face of a demon. There was something else. There was a holy light that surrounded her. She was both a fierce god and a benevolent goddess filled with love. Her voice was soft. Her eyes weren't empty anymore. They were deep. So deep, Junpei could feel himself falling into them. He felt dizzy. There was something oddly bewitching about her. His mind was beginning to crack and his heart began to melt. The hand she was offering him, it looked so soft, so inviting.
Clover.
Junpei reached out with his own trembling hand and closed it over hers.
Yeah?
Junpei writhed in agony. He shuddered and twitched, his body spasming as he went into shock. He screamed until his throat was torn and bloody, and then screamed more. His cries echoed across the room. Eventually his movement slowed, then faded. There was no more strength left in Junpei. He could feel his body begin to go numb. He no longer felt pain. He no longer felt anything. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. The last remnants of his mind began to fade. Even as his vision faded to nothingness, he saw Clover.
Thanks, Junpei. I'm just gonna borrow this, okay?
Her smile was cold. What was left of Junpei's conscious mind drifted away. All that was left was a twisted, broken corpse. Bad end. Alright. Let me ask you a question. Is the achievement I got? Oh boy. Oh man. Alright. Okay, hold on. Well, I got 2 of the endings. I'm going to go ahead and stop here because we've been going for about 45 minutes and we still have plenty more stuff to explore in the flowchart. And this is just what's visible. So this first decision up here was 4 and 5 door. This decision was the 3-7 8 door, the 7 door. That'll be the 3 door. We don't know what that is. What decision was this? 1, 6, and 2. So I went to the 1 door, the 6 door, that would be the 2. So yeah, what was the decision here? Leave no one behind. Outside the room. Alright. We'll figure all this stuff out, but yeah. That was one of the bad endings. We got more to go through, and we'll do some more of those before we get on to the true ending. Alright, cool. Hope you all enjoyed that. I'm gonna head to bed. It's pretty late, so I'll see you all next time. Alright, take care. Bye.